Hello, friends, and welcome to Season 8 of the Future Ready Librarians podcast series, Leading from the Library. This is a podcast for all librarians wherever you are in your journey. It is filled with amazing guests, important topics, and engaging conversations that will inspire, engage, and support all of us as future ready librarians. I am your host, Shannon McClintock Miller. I am the district teacher librarian at Van Meter Community School in Van Meter, Iowa, and I serve as the Future Ready Librarians leader. I have the pleasure of working within my library and school community and also with others around the country and world through Future Ready Librarian events, conferences, consulting, writing, and more. I am honored to bring these voices and the work of others to our podcast and to all of you. Well, it is a real treat to just welcome our next two guests to the podcast. And I have been hearing about this great collaboration that is going on from my friend Steve. And so I had to invite him and Ashley to the show so everybody could hear what is happening in their school out east. And so let's just start by having you both introduce yourselves.
So I'm Steve Gagnon. I'm the digital learning specialist in Stratham Memorial School in Stratham, New Hampshire.
And I'm Ashley Healey. I am the teacher librarian here in Stratham. I was a classroom teacher here for 12 years prior, and then this is my first year in this role, collaborating with Steve. So I'm excited to share with you.
Yeah. I was a classroom teacher too.
Yeah, you've done all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Been
Okay.
around.
Let's just start from the beginning so people can get an idea of how you have teamed up and what is happening within your school.
Why don't you start with the history? Because Steve's been in the role the longest.
Oh,
And
does
seen
that
it
mean
evolve.
Okay.
Not because he's old, because he's experienced. Go ahead.
All right. So we were very traditional here. We had a computer lab teacher. We had a library. Both were in the related art schedule. I came into the computer lab teacher role from being a classroom teacher and asked if I could change it up. So I kind of turned the computer lab into a makerspace, but it was still in a related art schedule and all of that. Library was still going on just as a related art, very traditional, what you think of. And we got the opportunity to change all things. We got a new librarian who is next to me. And so, because there's so many connections between makerspaces and libraries and all of that, we just thought it'd be great to turn everything into a learning commons type of setting. So we're working together, and we have a large school, over 500 students. So it's a lot to cover. And that's where we're at. We're in year one. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect. We're building it as we fly. We still are trying to figure out things, but we love it. It's great.
I would add to that too, Steve, for the past couple of years, the makerspace kind of idea or block had been removed from a fixed schedule. So he was operating on a flexible, responsive schedule to teacher needs while also fulfilling the tech coordinator role, and library as a subject was in a fixed schedule. So when we teamed up, we're still operating on that. But because we've merged our kind of curriculums and started creating progressions of learning, when kids come to see us, they know if it's on the fixed time, they might be working with Steve, they might be working with me. They can also schedule responsive times. Classrooms could schedule support around a literacy concept, and I would go push in or pull out, and vice versa. So that's kind of where we started this idea, allowing to meet the demands of the fixed schedule, but also accommodating a responsive one.
I love that. So when the kids come for the fixed time, do you have two classes come at a time or just one class?
I mean, there's always one scheduled for sure, but then most of the day we are double booked throughout the day. And there's been a lot of great times for kind of overlap or collaboration. Like we had first graders in once while we also had fourth graders. So they were able to do some leadership roles and cross depending on what the skill or, curriculum area we were doing. So there's been just a lot of, and with the spaces, our library abuts the physical makerspace. So we can also have just an open, fluid space where we have students working in either, depending if they're there for the fixed or responsive.
I don't know if this is a separate question, but you need to make sure that you ask us about our planning meeting in the morning.
Yeah.
What that's like for a thing, okay?
Well, tell us about it right now, because let's talk about like what your day looks like.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
You can share.
Okay, so we have it's like a huddle every single morning. Ashley's made this nice little paper that it lists. Oh, we should also add that it's not just me and Ashley. We also have a third person, an ESP, an educational support professional, who supports both of us and whatever our needs are. So that is a critical part to this as well. So it's basically a chart with 3 columns, and it's the Steve column, the Ashley column, and the Danny column. And we have that fixed related art schedule. So it's basically who's covering what, who's doing what with that class, that whatever's coming down, and then what are the other needs in the building and who's going to cover what. And we basically come up with a plan for the day, and it's break and we go.
That's awesome. It's like what you see like on the ER shows, you know, how they have the board.
Yes, we've tried a board, we've done it all. So yes, but you need that. And we definitely have some teachers who have a set additional time that they want to work on certain skills or things. So in addition, that we're seeing them twice consistently, part of the related art schedule and an additional, and then other teachers who just want us for a week straight working on a certain project. So it really depends on the day, and we need that huddle to figure it out.
I love it. And so when are the kids, like the library piece, like when are they like checking books out, and like what does that look like too?
Well, we even changed our thinking around that. I mean, previously at our school, the library teacher felt it was her classroom, like no one could access it because she was teaching all day. So like unless kids had their related art block, they were not allowed to check out books.
And it's a huge library. You would not believe how beautiful our library is.
Yeah.
So first we changed the mindset. So like if you need a book, you come anytime you want, right? So we do have kids frequently throughout the day just doing their book needs then. But during the related arts time, we always allow time for shopping and book talks and giving all those skills too. And Steve and I have worked to try to tie in a library component, a more traditional AASL skill with the tech piece. It doesn't always line up exactly, but we feel we've got a pretty good coverage of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then,
and the library itself, physically has changed 100%. Like over the summer, Ashley and Danny got some extra pay to come in and turned it like completely around. And it's this inviting, tables everywhere, still books, of course, but just an open area for everybody to come. Teachers come now at lunchtime to eat at the tables. You'll see students coming down to work on projects. It really is like, we're really trying to make it like the heartbeat of the school. Like, and this is where everything focuses, from.
I love that. I think it's so neat because I think honestly, like everyone should look at that concept, because it's so nice, number one, to have a partner to do this work with. And when you both have like a skill set, but you also have that collaboration, because oftentimes, like I'm the only librarian in my whole district. And so, to have a partner that you can collaborate with and do things with and run ideas from, and you have each other's back. And I think that's how, obviously, that you guys have turned this into kind of that 21st century, like, hub and program that you want, which is really neat.
That's great to hear. That's what our hope is, is really shifting that to meet the needs of our learners and to help them. We're a pretty inquiry-based school as it is. Our principal supports that type of work and learning, and project-based, we're competency-based. So it fits anyway. So it feels good.
I want to hear about like what's been your like favorite project that you've done.
Ooh. I bet is your sea perch or no?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm kind of the makerspace, STEM teacher or whatever. So for those of you who don't know, we're right on the coast, right? And so Portsmouth Naval Shipyard is right down the street. They overhaul submarines. Oldest shipyard in the United States, just a fun fact. But anyways, they have a STEM outreach program, and they do a sea perch build type of thing where it's a submarine that's made out of PVC pipes, and they provide all the kits. We made over 30 of these sea perch submarines, and we did it with our entire 5th grade. But it also involves shipyard workers coming in to assist the kids.
Oh my God.
So just to have shipyard workers, like, blue collar shipyard workers come in and work with, 5th graders, and they're cutting PVC pipe, they're soldering, they're,
So awesome.
all this kind of stuff, right? And then on top of that, we've got UNH just right up the road, 20 minutes from us. And they have an incredible ocean engineering lab, which we bring all the 5th graders up to. They got a tour of that. But then we also went to UNH's indoor pool, and the kids got to test their submarines at the indoor UNH pool.
Cool.
It's an amazing opportunity. And it was all, free for us because it was all sponsored by the shipyard.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, and a project like that, like especially to have a partner in that, because that's like a big project. So do the teachers also get involved in the collaboration too?
Yeah.
All the teachers get trained. We actually needed parent volunteers just to, keep kids on track, and, they're 5th graders. So we had over probably 30, 40 parent volunteers over the course of the week. We basically blew up the schedule, and the shipyard was here for like an entire half day for 5 days in a row. So that's all the kids did every morning until lunch.
That is so awesome. I want to come. I'm gonna come next year because that sounds like fun.
Yeah. I think it adds to also, like, our dream goal is this idea of 5th grade being this whole year of open makerspace. That if we're providing them skills from K to 4 through there that allow them to really do passion-based learning, to share their thinking with others, we need to provide these opportunities. So when we look at projects like that, it's like, what skills are we scaffolding along the way to help get them there so that they can really do all this great work? So
yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, as you were talking, like I think about working with my kids and what we start, because we have preschool even in our building, and how we build on those, skills and the things that they can do and what they're passionate about. Like that's such a cool thing, because then they can like take their learning in their own direction.
Yeah, it's pretty. I know we've even thought of like, how do we display like all the skills they know so that anytime they've learned something and they're ready to share their learning, okay, you know how to use Book Creator, you know how to use Pixton, how are you going to teach others? And I think that's a really important piece, because then it applies throughout.
Yep, it does. I know. It's like makes them, and think about how much they love it. Like I bet the kids love coming.
They do. It's been
There's not a lot of discipline issues when it comes to those types of projects,
No. And that's one thing I love about being a librarian is like they just get so excited about that piece of it. It's awesome. Oh, you guys are amazing. So is there anywhere where you guys need to be like blogging? Like, is there anywhere?
Thinking that when you said like what's your social media and all that, I'm like, we need to like get out there in the world.
You could have like a Instagram, like
let's do that.
There you go. How about
stay tuned.
I know. Can people find you online right now?
They can email us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so old school it sounds, but we would love to talk. We'd love to see what other people and hear about their collaborations or what they're doing, or invite them to share ideas.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'll include your email in the notes, but I can't wait. We'll have to do this again next year and then see where you guys are at. And invite you on a webinar so we can actually like see pictures and stuff. So
should we talk about like where we want to go though, is also like we want to also get out of the related arts schedule completely.
Yeah.
That would a down the road goal for us for sure.
That is a good goal, right? Like I'm not in the related arts anymore. I haven't been for a few years and it's a lot of work, but the great thing is you guys are like, it's not like you just jumped into it. And so you're like developing the relationships and the expectations and the excitement. And so it's perfect because once you have that, then you can it's easier when you don't have that fixed time.
That's
For sure.
Well said.
I love it. Oh, I'm so happy you guys joined me. And I know that people are going to love to keep up with this story, and you guys are inspiring. Way to go.
Thanks for having us.
Shannon.
This was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. We'll catch up soon.
Bye.
As always, thank you to all of our listeners for joining us for this episode of the Future Ready Librarian podcast series, Leading from the Library. And a very special thank you to our sponsors, Follett. You make a difference in our libraries, schools, and within our lives and that of our students every day. We appreciate everything you do. I hope you can take what you learned in today's podcast and put it to use within your practice as a future-ready librarian. If I can support you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me on X or Instagram at Shannon M. Miller or to my email at shannonmcclintockmiller@gmail.com. I am always happy to help. Until next time, friends, keep finding ways to lead within and from your library.